Hello and welcome to an introduction to Report a Tender. I'm Marta Farensbach, Product Manager here at Sherpa Software, and I will be your guide today. Before we go too much further, let's do a little bit of housekeeping. First of all, I want to let you know that this webinar will be recorded and uploaded to YouTube. Our channel is called Sherpa Software, all one word, and there you can find lots of interesting videos on all sorts of product-related topics. You will also be able to ask questions during this webinar. These questions can be entered using the questions portion of the webinar panel and will be answered during the Q&A session at the end of the webinar. Now that we have the basics taken care of, let's look at our agenda for today. Our webinar today should take just under an hour. We are first going to go over what Report a Tender does, how it works, and then take a look at a product demonstration. After that, we'll cover some basic use cases and compare this product to other Sherpa offerings. Then, as promised, we'll have a Q&A session. For those of you not familiar with Sherpa Software, we are an information management software provider with thousands of customers worldwide. We are well respected in the industry and provide solutions for Windows, Exchange, and Domino platforms. Popular products include Discovery, Mail, and Compliance Attender. Today, however, we are going to discuss our brand new product, Report a Tender. Sherpa got the idea for Report a Tender from a customer. He was troubled by the lack of tools to help him easily answer the question, what is in my dataset? Around the same time, system administrators mentioned that they'd like something to help convince their stakeholders of the need to establish retention policies. I'm sure those of you in the audience can sympathize with him. With some research, we saw that the type of charts and graphs that these customers were looking for were available in other tools. However, they are either single-focused, just Exchange or just file shares, or part of a large, complex, expensive solution with lots of widgets and plugins. And either way, they were not very customizable. So we come up with Report a Tender to help out these folk. Version 1.0 was released just last month, and from the start it was designed to scan the contents of email stores and file shares and collect key properties about those data stores. These properties are then aggregated into views and charts, which can be exported to PDF or CSV. Report a Tender was built to be easy to use and very easy to install. The only prerequisites are .NET 3.5 Framework and Microsoft Outlook if you want to scan Exchange mailboxes or PST files. Report a Tender uses a wizard interface to help you set up projects and scans. The wizard has choices not just for the types of data stores you wish to scan, but also the types of views you'd like to see. You'll see more of the wizard and the options for scanning in the product demonstration. The key component of Report a Tender is the main console, which uses interactive drill-down views to present charts and tables of categorized information. From here you can also export reports to your colleagues, managers, or clients. Sometimes a picture is worth 1,000 words. So how does Report a Tender work? It is a standalone application that deploys multiple scanners to collect properties from multiple data stores. These scans are collected into projects which house the statistics. Report a Tender can scale from large stores to small stores and scan all types of information. The back-end databases are not limited by size, and the processes have been optimized to minimize calculation time. The end result is that your data is scanned quickly and accurately. With that in mind, let's take a closer look at the product. Okay, so let's take a look first at our main console. The main console is where we're going to see our data presented to us. The first thing we want to do is select a project. We select a project and it opens up in its basic view. Project data is collected by using a setup wizard to create the scan. We'll be seeing that in just a little bit of time. But for right now, let's take a look at the summary page that we see here. The initial summary page will show you basic overview details of the scan that you ran. Using shortcuts at the top of the screen or on the left side of the page, you can go to different views, different summaries, and different charts. In this particular case, I was searching PSTs and file paths. And what I can do here is I can see summaries by type, by specifically files, by specifically email, and different categories that I'm interested in. Now these categories, which you're going to see in a variety of views, are completely customizable. If you go under the Preferences tab, you're able to set your different file extensions to the category that you prefer. And these categories, you can add to them, you can delete them, you can put anything in here for different extensions, embedded messages, unassigned items, can all be categorized to how you would like it. Once those categories are set, you can update them and show them in any of the views with the categories that you prefer. So once you take a look at these categories, you'll be able to see them in chart view, and then for each of the categories, you can see a breakdown based on file type. These breakdowns can then be exported to a PDF. The PDF export can be then saved locally and exported, given over to your management, to clients, to customers, or just for your own records. In addition to the PDF export, we can also export to CSV. This will take any text-based tables from the views you're looking at and save them in a CSV file, which can be opened in Excel. In addition to that, there's also a raw data view. The raw data view, also exportable to CSV, will show you a listing of all the items filtered to the data set where you're currently on. If you go to the root summary, you also have an option for the result inventory, and this will give you the records for the entire data set. Some of the views that you might find interesting are views by type, by store, duplicates, which shows you the number of duplicates in your data set by type, and also addresses. If you searched email, it'll show you the domains of all the email that you had in your search. Now, because I had so many domains in this, we actually abbreviated it by the different domain, but you can look inside the domain and see who in that organization that person was in contact with. Okay. Looking back at our duplicates, you can go into any of the duplicates and see by type how many duplicates there were, and also by individual file type as well. Again, duplicates and addresses, you do need to select those options before seeing those views. By default, you will, however, have a types view and a stores view. And a stores view allows you to see each of the data stores that you selected, and you can see them broken down by type, which gives you a view of each type by documents, spreadsheets, each category that you have set up in your preferences. Then you can see them by date. This is a really good indicator if you're looking for data that may be outside of your range. You can see for each data store what date range is available. Okay, how much data is in each date range. You can also see if you have email data stores, how much that email is broken up between messages, which is the green portion here, and attachments. And you can see these particular data stores had a lot of attachments. Okay, and if we look closer, we can see the different statistics. Now, the type stores are also very interesting because they're the ones that are giving you the views of the breakdown of your entire set by type. You'll notice this is file, email, and all. The all data store is showing you your views with the files uncompressed and also all the attachments shown into it. If you only want to see the files, this section here will show you your containers and how much they make up of it. The email will show you your attachments as well as email. But once again, the all view shows you all your numbers with your containers broken out. Now you can also see your scan history in case there's any files that weren't successful. You can also take a look at, under your categories, under your preferences, there are some application-wide preferences, but most people come in here to manage their file extensions. Once you set up these extensions, you can use that same setup for all your different projects. So let's go ahead and take a look at some other projects that we can create. We're going to create a new project, and we'll take a look at the wizard and how we would implement a new project. Now, project in Report Attender, as I may have mentioned before, holds the product of your scans. Okay, there's one scan per project, but each scan itself is broken up into the individual scans of the data stores. Okay, so we'll set up our project, and we're going to select our data stores that we want to search. Currently, Report Attender searches file shares, and that could be local, that could be any Windows accessible share, so your network, other machines, etc., as long as you have access to them. We will search, we do not search the unallocated space, but we do search all the allocated space that we can touch using a Windows share. Okay, Exchange mailboxes, we search any version of Exchange up to and including Exchange 2010, and we can also search the online archives in Exchange 2010 as well. And last but not least, we search PST files. Now, there's some cases you may want to search everything in one scan, and other cases you may want to separate your drives from your email data stores. Again, it really depends on what you're scanning and what you're doing with your project. Okay, because remember, we aggregate the statistics. So if you're searching files and email together, we're going to aggregate those statistics together. When you select your file paths, you simply come in, go ahead and select the location of your data stores. In my case, I'm just going to go over to my practice files and select a sample set that I have here. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and select my Exchange mailboxes. Now, when you select Exchange mailboxes, in my particular case, I'm going to enter in my server, and I'm going to search for the mailboxes on that server. This is the same method that you're going to use to select things like your online archives, and also your PSTs will also be used to select this. So let's just select some mailboxes and put them in here. Okay, once your mailboxes are entered and selected, you can continue and select your PSTs. For those of you familiar with Discovery Tender, this is not that much different. You're coming in, you're selecting your data stores, and you're going to select your options. Now, your options are different than other tools that we have. Each of these options actually correspond with a different view. When you're collecting address details, you'll have the address view. Attachment details is going to give you more information for email, both in the stores and the type section. Uncompressing container files gives you more information for the file views and also the all views. Once again, if you're uncompressing container files, you're going to find your total numbers of items from the containers will be included in the all view. So both the size and the types of the files in the container files, I mean things like zips, tars, rars, stuff like that, will be found inside the all file. By default, if you're searching PSTs, we do break up the statistics, but you probably want to collect attachment details. We do collect the date statistics for everything and also the file type statistics for everything. But if you want to get the statistics for attachments, once again, select attachment details. Now, each option that you select will add more time to your scan. However, it will also add significant more detail. The biggest time hog of them all is the duplicates. We are hashing each and every item that we're going through, so that does take a significant amount of time if you choose that option. However, that's obviously something you want to see. For example, if you're scanning your data stores, you want to have a good idea of how much of that is duplicated. It may give you an idea either, if you're coming from the IT side, how much data that you want to parse down, or if you're coming from the litigation support side, it gives you a lot of important detail on what you can exclude from your process. So once you set up those options, your locations, those different options, you just click Finish. And what starts up at this point is the scanner. Okay, the scanner is a portion of reported tender. The inspector is a portion of reported tender that controls the different scans that are running. As you can see here, you can see the progress of your scan, how many items are pending, how many are active. You can also see this information on the main panel of the console. The root directory shows you, in this particular view, shows you the progress of your scans, and it shows you how far along you are. Once the scans have completed in the scanner, in the inspector rather, you're going to be able to see the different results in the main console. And once again, that brings us to the main console, to our project, and to the different views that we have with our project. Okay, so I'll come in here, I'll see what data I have, I see what the data is by data store if I want. I can see the different views exactly as I showed you before. Now that you've seen the product in action, let's talk a little bit about what types of users have shown interest in the product. As it happens, our customer base is almost 50-50 for the two use cases we first envisioned, IT administrators and litigation support personnel. The ROI for IT is that this tool makes it easier for them to manage their data stores, pure and simple. If you need to make a case for archiving or retention, then you can run reported tender against your Exchange stores or file shares and then send reports about content, type, or age to your management team. If you need to identify users who are using up too much storage or figure out where the network is getting clogged, just run reported tender and look at the type and store-based views. In our second use case, the litigation support professionals and consultants will find reported tender makes their jobs easier. Often a manager or client gives you a set of data and asks, how long is this going to take? Followed shortly by, and how much is this going to cost? To help answer those questions, set up the categories to reflect your process model, then run reported tender and export the reports. Instead of guessing, you can now produce a good estimate, not just of what is in the dataset, but also of what can be eliminated for being out of scope. There are options to parse attachments as well as uncompressed container files to get you the complete picture of the contents. In case you were wondering, several of our products here at Sherpa do include basic reporting, but only reported tender was specifically built to do so. In fact, it is designed to complement Sherpa's discovery, mail, and archive tender, not overshadow it. Because it is dedicated to analysis and reporting, reported tender has more options, more speed, and dare I say it, is somewhat prettier than our other tools. If reported tender looks interesting to you, please take a look at our website for more information. There, you can request a demo, as well as find links to evaluation version, getting started guide, and videos that walk you through the process of setting up a scan. With that in mind, I'm going to pass this over to Kristen so that we can take a look at our queue and see if we can answer some questions from our participants.